Welcome back to BawseCrew. Woo!
What's up, guys?
Hey, party people.
Party people. Yes, yes. So today, as you can see, we are missing our fourth member. So we will come back next week with that follow-up from last week on AI and character AI. So today we're actually just going to kind of catch up with each other on what we're doing to keep up with technology today and what exams we're studying for and how we are studying for them. So let's start with keeping up with technology because we all know that that is such a sensitive subject with the ever changingness of it. I think it's hard.
I saw an interesting article this weekend that spoke to how um civilians society is becoming a little um I don't want to say put off from cybersecurity or security threats. They're sort of just starting to become a little, I guess, almost like immune to it because they're hearing it so much and they don't know what is affecting them. Um, So I thought that was pretty interesting. Um,
Mhm.
again, the way I look at it is as we're moving each day, as we moving into a whole different phase of our lives and how we handle things, money, um, information, um, just anything. So many little gadgets
Mhm.
that can be attacked, literally.
Yeah.
Could be attacked. It just sounds crazy even thinking about it. Just so many little things uh, could be hacked, but that people are starting to become a little, eh, okay. It's like, and I
Mhm.
know the question that it was posing as well is companies doing enough, not just only to protect data, but I guess to reinsure their customers that their information and data is still protected. So I guess I'm wondering in that, people are probably just starting to really just
Mhm.
not worry too much about it, or I don't want to say don't care. No, I'll say don't care. Don't care until it affects them close, right?
Mhm.
I think most people think, oh, it's not going to happen to them. Um, and they're only going to go after the people with money and the companies. But I don't know. I guess that's the age we kind of live in right now, right? It's every
Yeah, it's
day,
true.
all day, any day.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think it's just companies. I think it's anywhere that we have our information, whether it be Instagram, TikTok. I know TikTok, there's a lot of controversy around that right now. Facebook, Amazon. We have a lot of information in all these places. And then let's simplify it. Your electric bill, Eversource here in Connecticut,
Yeah,
CNG for the gas bill, anything that has your addresses, your phone numbers, your a social on it, it can be at risk at any given moment.
yeah. I think
Before it was the paper, but now it's virtual. But sorry, Lorenzo, go ahead.
no. I was gonna say exactly to your point is that I think we've come to a point, at least in the last 4 years, where we have such a reliance on
Mhm.
everything digitally. Obviously,
Yes.
technology has been integrated into our lives, and it's not going to go anywhere, and we know that. But I
Mhm.
think in the last 4 years, we've seen different generation gaps become more attentive to this switch. You know, I feel like a lot of the older generation is more susceptible to these scams. I know personally, even younger people my age, I'm 26, have
Mhm.
already up to this year have 3 or 4 accounts on Instagram have been hacked remotely
Mhm.
Wow.
from people
Mhm.
my age, and
Yeah.
usually that's
Wow.
not very common. Um, and I've seen a few banking scams for phishing links prior
Mhm.
to last year and within the last few months. So as we get more advanced with technology, alongside people are going to become more skilled. The actors, bad actors, as we love to call them,
Mhm.
from our technical school terms, are just going to get better.
Yes.
And that's why it's so important to stay updated and basically just keep learning. It's
Mhm.
not going to go away, and new scams and new changes are going to becoming more aware for people to be more susceptible to this, unfortunately. So
Mhm.
I'm sure this year we're going to see new things we haven't seen before, and it's only going to get worse, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's true. And I just remembered, so last Friday, so my company always does a monthly, weekly, whatever, simulation. So I actually got caught up in a phishing email because the subject of the email was something I actually just talked to my boss about.
Hmm.
Oh,
The same week my boss and I discussed this topic, I got an email from my boss on this topic, and I thought it was actually from him because of that. So I told him, I'm like, listen, I thought it was you because we just talked about it not even 2 days ago.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's crazy because even when you think you're certain, you should always be suspicious about it. You should still ask questions. You need to do the work, the
absolutely.
yeah,
the extra work. My sister got an email from Best Buy saying something about her card was just used. And so she's like, card was used for what? There was a receipt attached to it, an invoice, and she's like, Bindi, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, listen, first of all, let's look at who's sending the email. It was from a Gmail account. Okay, if it's from a Gmail account, it's not from Best Buy, first of all.
Yeah,
So that alone, don't touch anything else, block it, report it as spam, and you have to be careful because
yeah.
they are getting more and more.
advance.
Sophisticated,
Yes.
advanced.
And I don't know if this part is true. I figure Christian might have because he's really into like the news part. But there is this new scam I heard of that people are. Oh man, I just lost my train of thought. Come back to me on that. There was a new scam that I heard of though.
Is it the
So
phone calls where they're stealing your voice and then basically then using that to then
no,
bypass security features?
I think they've been doing that for a while. But my uncle actually sent me an article on this. And I was like, people are really like, they are getting creative and they're using their creative minds in the wrong way. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you could do so much good with this mind of yours and you choose to, it's like, I don't know. I don't,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's getting very they're getting good. They're getting better than good.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer, especially with the phishing emails. In some cases, they're not even um making the mistakes. Maybe a letter off or misspelling of a word. They're not doing that. They're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
I've received 4 phishing emails last couple of days
yep.
from iCloud
Mm-hmm.
saying that my card has been denied and I need to uh, upload my new card so that or my account is going to be suspended.
Yep.
And I'm seeing this and I'm like, okay, I said, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and just forward these over to Apple so they could go on and play with them.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing. I just been forwarding them over to Apple.
Yep.
So I'm like, you guys go ahead and play with it. I don't want to play with it right now. Um, so yeah, but they're getting very more again
Sophisticated.
more
Yeah.
sophisticated.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah,
s-
yeah.
I saw somebody post on a thread, I think it was on LinkedIn, and somebody had a very nice quote, if I'm not mistaken, and I can't remember the person, unfortunately. They said, our accessivity to our access to I'm gonna botch this
Access
completely.
to
To
excess,
ex our
access to excess.
our activity to accessibility, I'm
Okay.
gonna botch this completely, is leading us to a lack of accountability, if that makes sense.
Mm,
Yes.
There's
Okay.
so
okay.
much accessibility now to so many different platforms where they're just they're robbing you of your information because
Oh,
you're just accessible to it, that
yeah,
it's leading to a lack of accountability. Nobody sits there and tells you that
yeah.
you have to set up your emails a certain way and you have to set up your passwords a certain way, and nobody's going to hold your
Mhm.
hand to do that until the moment it happens and your information or your money or your belongings or whatever you get taken from you is
Taken
gone.
from
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that's very true, especially nowadays, because all we do is just give our information out willy-nilly.
Willy-nilly. Yep.
Mhm. We
That's
don't
what it
ask.
is.
We don't ask.
No,
It's
because
due now,
your
ask later.
your banking, as Bindi said, is on your phone. Your personal photos are on your phone. Your data's in the cloud. Your all your emails and everything is integrated. It's all
Mhm.
seamless. Your entire life is within that retrospect. So why do
Yeah.
people not guard these things? Because they just don't think of it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They think
No.
you're
Yeah.
just safely guarded. You put locks
Yeah.
on your house, you put locks on your cars, but do you really protect your personal information that well? It's up to
No.
you.
I was watching. This is a funny thing. I was watching Impractical Jokers, and there's this episode of Murr, and
Mm,
he doesn't have a lock on his phone. So they just unlock his phone,
yep,
log into Twitter, and
yep,
tweet something.
yeah,
On
And
his
it's
phone.
like, imagine that getting into the hands of somebody
yeah.
wrong.
Could ruin his career if
Yeah.
not taken care of properly.
Well, right, exactly. And so it's like, and especially when you're a public figure like that, like everything you do is out there. It's
Ex-
so,
Right.
Excuse me, he's a celebrity. Murray's
oh,
amazing.
sorry.
He's a
I mean,
celeb.
I think he's both, honestly, because
Wonderful
I,
guy. Wonderful
yeah,
guy. I met him. I met him
hilarious.
one time, but that's a topic for
Really?
another day.
Uh,
Yeah,
all right.
topic for another day.
Okay. Come back. All right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we definitely need to stay up to date. But let's switch gears real quick and get into what everyone's doing for test prep. I'll go first just because right now I'm taking a break from that. I have a little bit too much going on, and I want to be more mentally prepared. So I'm just doing Try Hack Me to get all my skills back up. It's about to hit a year since we signed up for this course, so I'm definitely gonna be buckling down come next month. Um, so that by the time that we finish in August, I can finally take my Security Plus exam at the latest. I'm not gonna wait till then, but that's the latest. I'm setting my standards. But if you guys wanna tell us what you're doing,
Ty, you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Sure, sure. I'll go. So, as I've mentioned before, I am working towards securing one of the first cert, my ISC square in cybersecurity, and I am scheduled to take that exam come next week. Um, fingers crossed that I do well and win the first my first attempt. Um, so that's what I'm working on. On the side, I'm also studying for my Security Plus. Working on that, building out my resume, building up a LinkedIn profile, um, as well as looking at a couple of projects to some labs to try my hands at to see how that goes. It's been a while since I worked at a lab, so I'm looking at trying to get some ideas of something to get started with, just to refresh myself with things that we learned from before. It's been a while since I've done one,
yeah.
so I'm excited. I'm excited
I
to
was
see
gonna
what I can
say
build
do some
out.
PowerShell because I know PowerShell has become really big in this field, like bigger than Linux, bigger
Yeah,
than
yeah.
command line. It PowerShell has kind of become the new and yeah. Also, side note, just because I said that, make sure you guys bring in the next Windows update because it's supposed to patch some security uh things. So, just a side note.
Nuances?
Yes, yes, yes. And some computers aren't. My work computer did this. It's not just catching it right away. You have to kind of like make sure you go out there and fetch the update before it will update.
Oh, that makes
Yeah,
sense
so
now.
just
We're gonna chat later because okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways,
That's the meeting after the meeting. Okay.
yes, the meeting
Yeah.
after the meeting.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would go. But no, same thing as Taiwo. Basically been studying for my security plus. Um, honestly, I've been on the go a lot, very busy for work and my personal life. So, like I was telling Bindi and Taiwo, Pocket Prep has been absolutely amazing. For somebody that's on their phone all the time, and if I'm not able to get to my computer, just from the field of work that I'm currently in, which is not cybersecurity, because I have to oversee people and things like that and be on the fly in person, it's just really nice just to even get 15, 20 minutes in just of that practice work instead of, doom scrolling or, playing my little Sudoku or whatever I
Mhm.
do during the day to pass the time if I need to. It's been really helpful.
Mhm.
Flashcards has been immense for me. I mean, oh my gosh. My flashcard app is just catered to folders of different study guides from what we did from our repository and previous work. Um,
Mhm.
I should be doing what Bindi is doing for Try Hack Me. Unfortunately, I do get home and try not to be on the computer too much. I usually like to do that more in the morning, but I will be trying to dabble back into Try Hack Me. Very useful. And lastly, really, I've learned in the last 2 months from Taiwo that there's so much beautiful information on LinkedIn that's free. And people don't
Mhm.
understand for anyone that's trying to study on the side and do this independently, LinkedIn
Mhm.
has some of the best free information that you could possibly get. And I didn't know
True.
this.
Yeah.
While building
Yeah.
up my profile and starting to connect with new people and from what you guys have sent me, I mean, man, some of the information you couldn't even pay to get that. And so many
Mhm.
programs, certificates, free courses, free information, even articles that I can't find online regularly or on the news columns for cyber channels. So
Mhm.
definitely grateful for that and just trying to dedicate 2 to 4 hours a day, really, whether it's morning or night. That's always important. As we talked
Yeah.
about before previously, consistency
Yep.
is everything. Even if
It
it's
is.
just a little bit, it's just better just to build those
Yeah.
steps. It's just way
Especially on
Right.
better.
the days
Right.
you don't want to or you can't. Like you have to try a lot of extra
30,
to
even
do
30
with those.
minutes. It goes a long
Yeah,
way. That's
it
why I
does.
keep that pocket prep ready to go always.
Mhm.
So, and my daily reminder, on my phone reminds me. But
Right,
I'm
right.
30
Yeah.
minutes good, so grateful.
Yes. Yes, of course. Of course. Yeah, it's a lot to get into this field because it's not just the preparation like of the work, but it's a lot of mental preparation. And I've said it in the past that I think personally the three main things that kind of especially helped me was having the mental capacity of knowing that it's okay, I don't know everything, I
Yep.
can learn it, having a good platform to actually study and continuously practice everything that I do already know. And the third, and I think the most important, is having a team behind me,
Yes.
having a friendship group that we kind of, like I said, Tywa and I have talked each other down the ledge on multiple occasions, and I know Lorenzo and I have like it's so important to have the backup from people who are going through the same things.
Yeah.
So it's important to be you can be an introvert, but you got to be an extrovert when it comes to this, just enough to build that little rapport with a group
Yeah.
because it a little bit of rapport goes a long way.
Yeah. Yes.
Long
Yeah.
way.
Absolutely agree 100%.
So that's all I got today. There's a lot going on, so
Yeah.
um, we'll have more next week on the AI side, going back to the previous discussion, and we actually have some. I saw some new links to kind of add on to that existing
Yeah.
conversation. So
Yeah.
we will
Yeah.
have probably a little bit of a longer video. So for all our followers, please be patient with us in that one because there's a lot going on. We might make it to a third one too because of how much is going on with that specific realm of AI. It's it's getting a little out of hand, I think. A little out of hand.
It's a fast train and it's only gonna keep going. So
I
it's gonna be
know.
Yeah.
it's gonna be a fun ride.
It's a
It's
virus.
it's interesting because in that space, um, you have one person asking for guardrails to be put on another company, and the truth of the matter is that powers that be don't really want to put guardrails on AI. But that's just more of an America thing.
So,
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
Taiwo, why do you think that is? Why do you think that
Oh,
is?
we are getting off topic, guys.
Uh,
We are getting off topic. That's a.
time to log out. Time to
I'm
I
log
gonna
was
out.
hold
gonna
that one
say,
for you, Lorenzo.
hold that. Yeah, I was gonna say, write that down because we are going to discuss that in our next week's video. So keep that in mind. So we will answer these
Put those
questions, but
guardrails on,
yeah, next week.
like bumper
So.
pool.
Uh,
Well, that's all for now then, guys. We will see you next week. This is BawseCrew logging off. Bye.
bye.